I'm a fan.
And welcome to this week's Tracking the Wolves. I'm Blake Day with NSU Athletics. Let's get some past results. The NSU wrestling team lost both of their duels last week against University of Mary and Minot State. The Wolves lost to Minot State 31-19. Cody Vogelai at 133 pounds and Blake Lundgren at 165 pounds both picked up pins in their matches against Minot. The Wolves then lost to University of Mary 25-19 on Thursday night. Now, NSU Wrestling now drops to 4-11 overall and 0-7 in conference duels. For the NSU track team, Andrew Johnson set a new school record Saturday at the Bison Open, running a time of 22.21 in the 200-meter dash to place third at the event. Jay Seelig ran a season best for Northern in the mile as he placed 10th at the Bison Open with a time of 4:27.81. Hannah Trinan scored a career high and school record 3,278 points to finish 5th in the pentathlon Sunday at day 1 of the NSIC multi-events hosted by Minnesota State. Trinan earned 4 team points for the Wolves that will go towards Northern State's team total at the NSIC Indoor Championships in 2 weeks. The NSU women's basketball team lost a tough one last Friday night to 8th-ranked Wayne State, 67-63. Rachel Krogman led the Wolves with 20 points and 13 rebounds in the loss, while Sadie Stotesbury added a double-double with 12 points and 12 rebounds, and Allison Kusler added 16 points on Friday night. Then on Saturday night, the women, they lost another tough one down at Augustana College, 79-62. Megan Mutual led the Wolves with 18 points in the loss. Allison Kusler and Rachel Krogman each had 13 points as well for the Wolves. Although NSU out-rebounded Augustana 37-23, they had 25 turnovers in the game, which seemed to be kind of the deciding factor. The NSU women are now 19-5 overall and 15-5 in conference play. The NSU men's basketball team crushed Wayne State Friday night 90-59 to snap their 4-game losing streak. Darren Paterka had a career-high 23 points in the win for the Wolves on 5 of 6 shooting and 4 of 5 from three-point land. Sky Warwick added 14 points, while Tyden Storson had 8 points for the Wolves. NSU led from start to finish in the game, and the Northern bench scored a season-high 51 points in the win. On Saturday night, the Wolves traveled down to Augustana and pulled out an 85-78 victory. It is NSU's first win over Augustana since 2008, snapping a 10-game losing streak to Augie. Sky Warwick led the Wolves with 21 points in the win, shooting 7 of 10 from three-point land, while Jared Hannigan scored 12 points and Darren Paterka added 10 for the Wolves. The NSU men are now 16-10 overall and 11-9 in the NSIC. That's it for past results, and we'll be right back with an interview with head men's basketball coach Paul Sather.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
Welcome to this section of Tracking the Wolves. I'm Associate Athletic Director Zach Flackus, and our guest today is NSU head men's basketball coach Paul Sather. Coach, how are we doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good today.
Boy, what a huge weekend for you. We went down to Wayne State and Augustana this weekend, and after having a little bit of turmoil and really going through some stuff in the middle of the season there, you guys go off on a huge weekend and get a sweep.
Yeah.
What did that feel like as a coach? I know you probably weren't happy with the way you've been playing, but...
Yeah, well, you just felt good to go out and see the guys play.
with that same passion, enthusiasm that we had earlier in the year on both ends of the floor. It's something that I think there for a little stretch, we kind of maybe took it for granted or we lost that. And it was good to see us go out and play real hard. I thought at Wayne State, Wayne isn't a team their record is really good, but they've been in every game and really competitive. And I thought our guys came out and played as well as we played a lot of the year. And we followed up against Augustana, and I thought played a really good game there as well.
You end up going on the road. This is really kind of the dividing point. You needed a couple of wins to get a home playoff game. Did that kind of eliminate some of the pressure maybe where the guys kind of finally just said, you know what, let's just go play basketball. Let's not worry about anything else or seeding or anything else. Let's just go play basketball.
Yeah, and that's kind of been our target. We don't talk a lot about winning and losing. We don't talk a lot about where we sit playoff-wise. We just don't. We try to talk about and emphasize more about, hey, let's get better today. Let's use this opportunity in practice or at a game to come out and try to play every possession the best we can, defensively or offensively, and keep our focus there. But, after we lost a couple in a row, we did show our guys we've done enough work this year to put ourselves in a great position. We've lost 4 in a row, but here we sit with a great chance to still be a 4th seed in a home playoff game. So now let's relax, let's go take care of business, and let's get better. Let's get back to who we are. And so that was one of the few times we did talk about seeding, was after we had that stretch of losses, just because we want to let our guys know, hey, we got a lot we're playing for yet. Let's get our minds right, and let's come back and practice the way we need to.
Well, and it seemed like, I don't know if it's just the being relaxed or if it's more practice or what, but your outside game, especially against Augustana, you guys came out, really shot the ball well, seemed to open some things up on the inside. It seemed like you guys played a lot better defensively also the first half. I don't know if that's just a confidence thing or what it is.
Well, it's what we've been emphasizing. I think we've just done a better job in practice of kind of going back to some of the basic things defensively. Our ball pressure had really been lacking. And just our gap help and our help side wasn't where it needed to be. Our overall defensive intensity and enthusiasm hasn't been great. And I think the film over a course of a couple weeks really started showing it, and I think our guys really started seeing it. And once they really saw it, I think they understood, hey, we've got to change what we're doing right now if we want to get better. And they did. I couldn't be happier with how we came out and really we made a lot of mistakes still, but I thought the effort was there defensively on both nights. I thought we did some good things.
Well, and the other good thing to see was on Saturday night against Augustana. You guys opened up a big lead the first half, going to halftime. Still got a good lead. Boy, they put together a good run.
Yeah, they
sure really came back. I mean, they even took the lead, I think, for a little while in the second half. That fight in your team, though, like you said, whether it's enthusiasm, energy, just the stick-to-it drive and desire, but you guys end up coming back and you won the game by 6-8.
It was a couple freshmen that kind of turned the page for us in the second half with Darren Paterka and Carter Evans. When we couldn't get a basket, fought for some offensive boards off a missed free throw, off missed shots. Darren kept an offensive rebound off Carter's free throw miss and put it up. He missed it, and then Carter got it back and ended up getting a three-point play. And so it was kind of our fight on the glass, and those two guys willing it to kind of get that run stopped by Augie and kind of get our mindset changed back. So we counted on our bench a lot this weekend, like we have all year, and they really stepped up.
You're coming to the end of the season. You've got 2 regular season games left. It's our last home doubleheader weekend of the year. Traditional I Hate Winter. You've got Parents' Night. You've got a lot of things going on. We've got Wayne Mary and Minot coming in this weekend. You've already played them. That was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, a long time ago.
How much have both teams changed since you played them, 8 weeks ago?
Well, a team like Mary had a lot of new faces from last year. So when we played them early, I think they were still trying to sort through some of those things, and it was a hard-fought game at Mary. And I think they've won a couple games here of late. They've been in a lot of games, and they're going to be a very difficult team to guard. They're really athletic. And then Minot's got a lot of the same guys, and they're so dangerous. Their guards, E.J. Williams and Dominic McDonald, are really talented, and they got some post players inside that can score. They're really athletic. So both teams, hard matchups for us, and they're going to present some big-time challenges for us this weekend.
Well, and teams have generally always played good coming in the Barnett
Yeah.
Center. We get a great
Sure
crowd, fan, especially when you come to this
Especially
winter
lately.
weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be, you know, how many people in our league get to come and play in a place where you're getting 4,000 people, 5,000 people at a game. And I'm expecting that's kind of the crowd we'll have this weekend. And so, you know, you always feel like you're going to get everybody's best effort, because it's hard not to get up and excited about it when there's a great environment. And
Yeah,
we have
absolutely.
such a great environment here. So, but we've got to know that. We can't use that as a crutch or an excuse to play poorly. I mean, we've got to understand it's going to take our best effort every time we step on that floor, because we're going to get everybody else's best. So I didn't feel like we did that in our last homestand. I felt like we had a couple games against Duluth and Upper Iowa that we played okay. But I just felt like we kind of let those teams off the hook and didn't give them our best. And that ended up being a 0-4 streak at home.
Sure. Well, and the nice thing is when you go through that little streak, like you said, you're guaranteed the number 4 spot. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter, win, lose, draw, whatever. Who you're going to play is going to be different. This will be our last TV episode that we have before you host that home playoff game. But Wednesday, April 26th, we already know the men and women are going to play double headers.
February 26th.
February 26th. So we already know that's a doubleheader weekend. You know, at this point, or, you know, as you look at the conference tournament, everything set up at the end of the year, is it let's just go play basketball? We can worry about who we're playing later.
Yeah, and again, we don't talk a lot about that stuff anyhow. I think the guys understand it's going to be one of 3 teams. It's going to be Upper Iowa, Sioux Falls, or Augustana. There's a 3-way tie for that 4th, 5th, and 6th spot. It's going to be one of those 3 teams. So let's not worry about it. Let's get out. Let's worry about us. Worry about our team and our approach, and having great practices this week. And you want to be playing well this time of the year. And so far so good, but boy, you need to keep going. You can't feel like you've accomplished anything.
Absolutely.
We haven't. We played well for a weekend. We've got to back that up and continue to get better, and good chance this weekend to do that.
Well, like you said, this weekend it's I Hate Winter weekend. We've got on Friday, February 21st, we're going to play University of Mary. Games are at 6 and 8 o'clock. And then on Saturday, February 22nd, we've got Minot State games at 5 and 7 for the I Hate Winter. The playoff game, we already know it's going to be Wednesday, February 26th. We've got home games at 6 and 8 o'clock. That game's actually run by the conference, so our Wolves Club members have to pay when they come in, but we'll get them information out for that.
Sure.
So, Coach, with that, I'm going to let you get back to practice. This has been Zach Flackus and NSU head basketball coach Paul Sather for Tracking the Wolves.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
with commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why. These student athletes say with pride,
I chose Division II.
And welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. Thanks again to Coach Paul Sather for joining us today. And now we have another special guest. We have Trent Zomer from the men's basketball team. So Trent, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
Let's kind of start things off, just letting everybody know about yourself a little bit. Tell everybody where you're from, what your major is. You're a senior, so what are your plans after graduation, if you know that right now, and just kind of let everybody know that.
Okay. Well, I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I lived there pretty much till I came here for college at 21. I'm a business management major. I graduate this May, and initially I'll go home straight away and pick up playing basketball with the team that I grew up playing juniors for. So I'll play with them through hopefully the end of August is the end of playoffs. And then I'll actually come back to the States in early September to get married. Okay. And then Hannah and I will go back to Australia, and I either will be playing basketball or I might have to find a real job. So we'll see.
Very nice. Well, congratulations on the engagement, by the way.
Thank you.
I guess the next question we usually ask everybody is why Northern? And then maybe even a little more for you. How do you, being from Australia, how do you end up at Northern? What were kind of the channels to get you here? You know, how did you come about that decision?
Well, at the time, like I graduated high school in 2007, and I didn't look at coming to play college basketball for a couple of years. And at the time when I was looking, the club team I was playing for in Australia, Kevin Ratch was playing for the senior team, and he'd obviously just graduated from Northern, so he was in my ear a little bit, and he reached out to a few contacts, and then I got in contact with Coach Sather, and I had a couple of options, but in speaking with coaches, Coach Sather was the one that was sort of up front, and I got along with him a lot more than I could speak to the other coaches, so pretty much chose it based on that. Very nice.
This is one that I don't know how much of a fan the athletes are of asking it, but I know everybody watching enjoys it. Kind of a random fact, fun fact about yourself that maybe your teammates, coaches know about, but maybe, the random fan doesn't know about yourself.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I didn't really start playing a high level of basketball till I was probably 16. Really? And then I went back and forth playing basketball and Australian football is what we play back home, and out of high school I actually got drafted into the pros and played 2 years of Australian football before not getting contract renewed, and that's when I sort of turned to my basketball and came to college.
I think that'll probably take the cake right there for best fun facts so far. That is very interesting. I guess let's talk about the season, up to this point. Obviously we're coming to a close here pretty quick, regular season wise. You guys are 16-10 overall on the year, 11-9 in conference. You're locked in as that number 4 seed in the North. So let's just kind of talk about the season itself. Let's talk about early on. You go down to Creighton for the exhibition. Then you have the Sanford Tip-Off Classic in Sioux Falls against Central Missouri, Missouri Western. And then some non-conference games, with Dakota State, Jamestown, Dickinson State, Mayville State. Kind of talk about, you guys had a little bit of a new team this year, losing, 3 really quality seniors, kind of a new identity this year. Just talk about maybe, I don't know if you want to say the growing pains, but the learning curve early on.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it growing pains or anything, but you're right, we have to adjust to losing 3 starters, and guys really stepped up. It really helped getting Ty back from injury. Right. That's been really good. He's the heart and soul of this team, well, in my opinion. But so growing pains, not so much, but every year you have to sort of get used to playing with those guys that are going to play heavy minutes, and coach does a really good job of putting our, I guess, pre-season schedule together. We have a lot of games and a lot of challenging opponents. Like, we don't just play teams that we're going to beat by 60 or something like that. So that was really good and helpful to really get some momentum going into conference play.
Yeah, and absolutely very successful early on. And then you guys get into conference. And I mean, early on in conference, you won 5 in a row. And then a little bit of a tough stretch here over the last month or so, I guess. At one point you'd lost 4 in a row, 6 of 7, but really rebounded, this past weekend going down to Wayne and really put it to Wayne on Friday night, and then beating Augie at their place on Saturday in a really solid game. I guess talk about what you guys kind of learned throughout that tough month there, and then talk about this past weekend really bouncing back and really coming together well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty tough stretch, and look, if I could tell you what the problem was, we would have fixed it 3 games in rather than 7 games in. But I don't know, I guess we just kind of hit a wall, and guys were struggling with form and certain other things were happening, but we kind of tried to put it in perspective, and coach kept us on the straight and narrow. Like, one time he used the example of it, like, it's just a game. It's a game of basketball, and we've lost 3 in a row, 4 in a row, or something like that, but this is where strong teams bounce back and like handle that adversity, and so to speak. So to come out this weekend, we looked at, like, some people would look at Wayne's record and sort of give himself a false sense of security, but we had to play well against them, which we did, to get that win, and then to have the game we did against Augie at Augie was, yeah, really good, really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about you guys really jumped on them, first half, they claw back, second half, and then, just kind of a back and forth the rest of the way, so it was a very entertaining one to watch. Let's talk about basically what we have coming up here. Senior weekend, this weekend for you. We really can't say it's your last time playing in Waukesha Arena, because we're going to be hosting next Wednesday for the first round of the playoffs, which is kind of a unique deal in itself as well, being able to host in playoffs. Let's talk about Marion Minot this weekend, what we're expecting to see from them, and then a pretty quick turnaround there, playing on a Wednesday. So over this next week, we're going to have 3 games there. So
yeah, well, we have Mary first on Friday, and even Minot. They're sort of similar. They're really athletic teams, and I mean, we took the W's up at their place earlier in the year, but that was like our second weekend of conference play, so we haven't played them since the start of the season, and they've had some really good wins, so it's going to be a tough weekend at home.
Let's kind of close it on this. What's your favorite part about being here at Northern? Favorite part of playing? Maybe it's the town of Aberdeen. Maybe it's Walks Arena. Just talk about I guess as a senior, what is your favorite part of what you've learned over the last 4 years here?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, the friends you get, like the amount of guys we've played with over being here 4 years, like they're friends that hopefully you'll never lose contact with. You'll always be able to look them up and catch up, go out to eat, something like that. But you get that at any basketball team, but special part about Northern would be the crowd, home crowd every week, like to get 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6,000 people. It's incomparable.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thank you very much for joining us today. Good luck on the final home weekend here of the regular season, and we'll be right back with upcoming events.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
And welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. Let's get some upcoming events here. Northern basketball comes home for I Hate Winter weekend this upcoming Friday and Saturday as they take on University of Mary Friday night at 6 and 8 and Minot State Saturday night at 5 and 7. Now with I Hate Winter weekend comes the hot tub and the dressing in the Hawaiian themes on Saturday night. It'll also be Parents' Night for both NSU basketball teams on Saturday night, with Senior Night being Friday night. The NSU wrestling team, they come home Thursday for their home finale. It'll be Senior Night for them as well as they take on Minnesota State Mankato at 7 p.m. in the Barnett Center. The Northern Indoor Track team returns to action this week as well. They will be at the Bemidji State Twilight Thursday at 4 p.m. and then head down to Lincoln, Nebraska for the Nebraska Tune-Up on Friday. That's it for upcoming events. And once again, we thank head men's basketball coach Paul Sather for joining us today, as well as men's basketball student athlete Trent Zomer. And go Wolves!